as our guest of honor, we have Mr. Tanuj Soni, Manager, Recruitment and Partnership, South Asia for James Cook University, Singapore. Welcome, Tanuj. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Sabhusachi. Can you hear me? Yeah. Thanks for having me here, and thanks for the warm welcome. And good to have here. And yes, we are there to support global reach, and it's a nice initiative in terms of overseas education awareness for all the upcoming students who are looking forward to study abroad and Singapore-like destination.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us once again. And also we have with us our vertical head for Asia, Ms. Rinji Barua from Global Reach. Thank you for joining, Rinji.
Yeah, thank you so much for the session today. And it's good to have you here, Tanuj, so the students can know more about James Cook University, Singapore.
Yes, so students who are looking at going to Singapore for higher studies, stay tuned. We will give you some very important information. If you have queries, please feel free to join and comment with your questions so that we can address them. Okay, so let's begin the session, Tanuj, with my first question to you. Why Singapore and why JCU? Over to you.
Great. So I guess Singapore has been a popular destination. And when we say why Singapore, a lot of students and a lot of kids nowadays or parents have this Singapore as the attractive destination because of their close proximity from India. So when students wants to select the destination where they want to have the exposure of mix of Western culture plus Asian culture, Singapore top in that particular list. Plus, when you talk about the travel time, places like Chennai, places like Bangalore, places like Calcutta are very nearest location. And on top of that, Singapore has got one of the best tourist attraction places. Singapore is, you can say, top rank when it comes to quality of life and living. So there are so many other reasons also apart from this. The health infrastructure is one of the best when it comes to Singapore. So these all reasons, if you take it as together, when we are targeting or maybe when we are counseling students who are just 17 years or 18 years of age, for their parents, this becomes an important point that Singapore is one of the best choice for their kids when they're coming forward to study and moving further overseas. Also, because of the proximity, it gives them an exposure of European culture and Asian culture without missing their home. So these things plays an important role. And James Cook University is one of the very old university coming from Australia. We started our campus in 2003. So now you can see almost 17 years we have completed in Singapore itself. And we are operational as full-fledged university status in Singapore. And we are one of the top ranked university offering so many programs as per the student choice. And Singapore campus, if you see, it's one of the campus which is like centrally located. And if you see overall offering, research pattern and everything, we are one of the best when it comes to Singapore.
Yes, absolutely agreed on that. And thank you for letting the students know and covering up on all the important aspects. So now the next question, let's go to the next question to Ms. Rinji. So what are the most popular programs for UG and PG both in case of JCU as well as for Singapore as a whole?
Okay, JSU has an extensive range of programs, starting from, say, around business programs, accounting programs, IT, games design programs, cybersecurity programs, both at the undergrad and postgrad levels as well as environment science programs, majoring in aquaculture, and well ranked and very well known. Singapore as well. So students who go to Singapore generally science, information technology, games development, cybersecurity, and all these programs are offered by JCU. And Singapore as such also is very popular for these programs.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Rinji. Okay, so are we getting any questions? No, not yet. No. Okay, so let's proceed to the next question. I think the most important thing for studying abroad is funding, and I think JCU has quite some good scholarships and bursaries. So Tanuj, if you could just highlight on the scholarships or bursaries that a student can avail for both UG and PG.
Great. So when it comes to James Cook University, I wanted to highlight that we are one of the government university coming from Australia. And when we established our campus in Singapore, one thing was always one of the important point that we wanted to recruit one of the quality students coming from South Asia market and around the world. So when it comes to the student ranking and everything, we make sure that scholarship plays an important role or when student wants to select any of the university. Keeping all those things in mind and considering the budget and everything, JCU has got so many exclusive scholarship. Previous days, we used to run a lot of scholarship tests in and around different markets. So where students have to do aptitude tests, which will be for one hour, and then perform based on their performance, they will be getting 25%, 50%, and up to 100% scholarship for one academic year. Currently, we have few scholarships starting from $2,000, ranging up to $10,000. So these scholarships depend on their performance in their class 12th or their bachelor's marks. So somebody who is scoring somewhere around 65 percentile or 75 percentile and ranging up to 80, 85 or 90 percentile, they can definitely get guaranteed scholarship when they are coming and planning to study with us. So when it comes to scholarship, we are not altogether neglecting any of the student. We are giving them equal opportunities. So whatever streams they are coming through, and even in many cases, they are need-based scholarship also. So case by case basis, we try to evaluate, we try to understand, because our one motive is there, like we wanted to support each of our students who are coming and planning to study with us. So that's the agenda. And even within the campus, there are a lot of opportunities. There are a lot of performance-based opportunities. There are different clubs and societies within the campus. So students get a lot of opportunities, not before joining the university, even after joining the university, they have n number of options coming through.
Okay, so that means a student after enrolling also they have the option of getting some scholarships, and those options are also open to them for student who needs some more support maybe.
Definitely. There are a number of opportunities. Even some of the students are there who even study bachelor's with us. They move further to the master's. So we also have continuing learning scholarships. So they don't have to apply separately. Automatically, the scholarship will be awarded to them. Plus, as you know, we have an Australian campus, so they run a different scholarship. So depending on the student's marks, performance, there are n number of options available. The only thing they need to make sure their grades are perfect, first class honors, as I mentioned, more than 65 percentile. And we try to cater all category of students, even if they are coming from state board, CBSE, ICSE, IB board. Even sometime I've seen a few students coming from open board channel or open board school, and they perform really well, but they could not qualify to few universities. So we don't judge student as per their boards or the examination they have done. We try to give them equal opportunities when it comes to scholarship.
So open schooling you are accepting, right?
Yes, we accept the open school, open board schooling
University.
also.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so that's for the students to note that even if you are from open schooling or open university, you can apply to James Cook University, and we are there to assist you with that. So to reach out to us. Now, I think we are getting some questions. Okay, so the question is, does the student services facilities provide swimming clubs for swimmers? My child is an international level swimming champion. So that's from a parent.
Okay, great. So I guess when it comes to James Cook University, we have divided different clubs in society as per their student hobbies or interests. So definitely, swimming is one of them. So if child is specialized into swimming or they have received any recognition, like maybe international level or state levels, we always give them a recognition. And I'll definitely suggest student to join these clubs in society, because these clubs in society help in terms of interstate competitions or the competition happening different countries, and we do support these type of candidates coming from sports background. And even if you see, we also have one program which combines the sports plus the management side. So as a university, we give them equal opportunities. So definitely student will be having upper hand, plus a lot of support will be provided to the student when they are there inside the campus. And definitely we motivate them in terms of sports activities.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much. So we can proceed with the next question to you. Uh, so there are specific courses like psychology, teaching. Okay, often students would like to know like what are the basic requirements, or on basis of what exactly does JCU consider an applicant's admission.
Great. So I wanted to highlight over here because if you see our course offering or the course portfolio, we have designed as per the requirement of the country. And Singapore is one of the country which is quite popular when it comes to hospitality tourism, when it comes to business, banking, when it comes to medicine, marine science, aquaculture related program, or teaching related program, or IT related program. And Singapore is the hub for Southeast Asia when it comes to IT research, banking industry, tourism industry. And tourism, if you see, they are one of the country which receives maximum population when it comes to tourism and hospitality around the world throughout the year. So we have designed the courses according to that particular need. And when you see our bachelor's program, all bachelor's program can also be completed into tri-semester mode. That means students have an upper hand that they can complete 3 years of degree in just 2 years of time. So imagine they are saving almost 1 year of time. And on top of that, if they are looking forward to pursue masters, we also have masters, which is for 12 months. So rather than just spending 5 years of time, they're spending just 3 years of time to get the master's degree. So a lot of exposure is coming through. Plus, when you talk about psychology, psychology is one of the program which comes as a premium and a crown. And why I say it's a crown, because we are world's top 2% ranked in psychology. And we are the only university in Singapore who have got a government certified clinic inside the campus where patients are also coming in. So imagine students who enroll with us for bachelor's till the time they complete their master's, the exposure, what they get, it's all hands-on and practical knowledge, which is like if you compare with the other university, it's very hard to get all together. Plus, because these programs come with dual recognition, Australian Psychological Society, Singapore Psychological Society, students have an upper hand when they are going for future job prospect. Same applies to all our business program, comes with AACSB accreditation. IT program are already registered under Australian Computer Society or Singapore Computer Society. So these type of validation help student in terms of getting into job market very fast, very quickly. Plus, to add on this, all our degrees are valid and recognized back coming to our home country, which is India. So a lot of parents will be having queries that they might be doing tri-semester studies, 2 years program. Are they valid in India or worldwide? So I wanted to highlight, we have been doing it from like almost 15, 16 years in Singapore. And all these degrees are valid and recognized back in India by AIU, which is Association of Indian University. And we are the first university from Australia whose all degrees are valid and recognized back in our home country. So these things plays an important role. Plus Singapore has an upper hand when it comes to banking industry and financial industries. So all our programs into business streams, all our MBA into finance or maybe creative marketing, provide a student an edge that once they are completing these programs, they will be job ready. Plus, there's another important point which I wanted to highlight here. All our professors and faculties are PhD holders with corporate experience of 15 plus 20 years. And few of them are also the advisory committee member of Singapore Tourism Department, or they have been running certain companies. So what I'm trying to put across over here, the training, the skill set, what we are providing is the current need, which Singapore needs or the worldwide it is requiring. We are quite popular when it comes to data science, cybersecurity, IoT, which is the demand altogether in Singapore. And currently, if you see the pay perks are one of the highest pay perks in Singapore. So I guess these all, when you take together as a package, student will have an upper hand, and hands-on training nowadays plays an important role when they are going in a market for job search.
Absolutely correct. So practical exposure is definitely very helpful for students. I'm sure students are listening to what Tanuj is mentioning, and they are going to take advantage of that. Okay, I think we are getting more questions. What's the part-time work opportunities? The most common question that comes from a student. So over to you.
Okay, so when it comes to Singapore, I wanted to highlight one thing. Singapore is a small country. Though they have so many options when it comes to full-time and part-time job opportunities. When students apply and go for the what we call the student visa, it's not legally allowed to work part-time because if you see with us, it's a 5 days compulsory classroom. Australia and other places, the classroom usually happens 3 days or 2 days in a week. Here, it's compulsory classroom for 5 days in a week. So we try to make sure that rather than student going for odd jobs, we take them for the full-time skill jobs, which will help them to build their career. And as I have highlighted earlier, that our programs are there, which are run into tri-semester mode. So we maximize and focus on their quality education. And Singapore as a country, they do not restrict you in terms of working part-time. The only thing, you should have a proper job letter and you are allowed to work as much as you want. And we also, as a university, we support student, but we make sure that at least student complete first semester, regardless whether they are at bachelor's level or master's level. And as a university, we have a placement cell who helps student in terms of providing training and internship related to their own field, which will help them in terms of getting full-time job when they are moving further.
Okay, that's great. Thanks a lot. I think Ms. Rinji would like to add on the question I asked earlier about psychology and teaching. So over to you, Rinji.
Tanuj, I just wanted to ask, can students practice in Singapore after the completion of their degrees in psychology and teaching in Singapore? Is it possible for them to work as a practice as a psychologist or work as a teacher?
So I wanted to highlight, Rinji, yes, the opportunity is available for all the students. They can register themselves. And once the registration is done, they can go for any government sector, private sector, and they can also work into NGOs. So definitely that option is there. And for that, they have to make sure they follow the proper procedure. And as I said, psychology is one of the subject which is the core area and which is highly in demand in Singapore. So once students study at bachelor's level and they complete their master's level, it's easy for them to get them registered. Even because of the dual affiliation and registration process, they can also get them registered into Australia if they feel like registering or practicing the same program into Australia. So this programs come with a lot of flexibility. And even coming back to home country, as I told you, it's recognized. So it's easy for our students to do any sort of practice after completing the program.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Tanuj. I hope that answers the question. Yeah?
Yes. Okay, we are getting more questions. So the next question is, can you suggest if admission is possible at your pre-university foundation program after standard 10th?
Oh, so, okay. See, after class 10th, it's not possible. Yes, but student complete class 11th and they have a 11th mark sheet. They have clear all the core modules. The best core subject should be more than 65 minimum, and they can qualify for our foundation program, which will be for 12 months. And it's possible. So they don't have to go for class 12. They can complete their class 11 and they can enroll with us, but not after class 10.
Okay. So that answers your question, and we have one more. Can you highlight about the PSW in Singapore? Also, what are the scopes available outside of Singapore once a student completes their study?
Great. So when we talk about post-study work permit, Singapore is quite popular destination, and people or the expats around the world, they want to stay and work in Singapore because of the culture and the environment and the number of job opportunities available in a country. Plus, even the currency exchange is at par as compared to like the other countries like Canada and Australia. Now, what are the opportunities? So as I've already highlighted that Singapore James Cook University, we have a career placement cell. We help student. It's a on-job training sort of thing. So we try to assist them. The only thing in Singapore, you do not have upfront stay back option. So students should have a job. And if you have a job, you can stay in a Singapore for a minimum duration of 2 years. So Singapore does not have a minimum paper criteria. So even if a student gets somewhere around 3,000 or 4,000 Singapore dollar per month salary, they can stay there for 2 years of time. And somebody who is coming with the experience of 3 years or 4 years, they can always expect a salary of 5,000 to 7,000 Singapore dollar. And when you get an e-pass, which is the employment pass, that also comes with the validity of 2 years. The advantage of e-pass, you can also come along with your family and your family can also work. And once you complete the duration of e-pass, you are eligible to file the citizenship of the PR. So, but that's again a long-term discussion in the process, because immigration is something I cannot guarantee. But yeah, the stay back thing I can definitely guide. So these are the work permit. Singapore has a very easy work permit criteria. You should just have a job letter and you can stay in a country for minimum duration of 2 years of time, and you can renew it on after 2 years or 3 years. And your company, if they are okay with your works and everything, they can also give you upfront work permit for 4 years and 5 years of time. So Singapore is very much flexible, very much easygoing. The only thing, students should not wait till the last. They should, as I told you, after first try semester, they should start preparing for the job interviews. They should get enrolled into clubs and societies. They should try to approach the campus placement cells, so which will make them job ready. And a lot of our program into IT, hospitality, business comes with a lot of co-op options. So that means training, internship, placement will be part of curriculum. So students don't have to wait till the last.
Okay, so if I may ask you here, like amongst the students for the last 4 5 years that who have passed from JCU, what is the percentage of students who have actually been employed after completion of their degrees?
So I wanted to highlight, like, see, when you see the placement record, so it has been divided into different, but when you see as an international student, almost 83 to 84% of students, they got placed inside Singapore itself or the neighboring country. And few of them, they also come down to home countries like India, China, and so on. So we, as a university, we also assist them when they are coming to their home country in terms of job. So we are not leaving their hands, even if they pass out the uni. We try to support them even when they are there in the home country. So a lot of our alumni network is also very strong. Time to time, we try to engage them wherever they are in Singapore, India, China, and so on, so that we try to connect with these alumni. We try to take their feedback also. And till date, it's one of the best when it comes to the placement record, what we are having in Singapore with James Cook.
That's wonderful. I think what more a student can ask for. So, any more questions from Ms. Rinji?
Absolutely.
Yes. Please go ahead.
Tanuj, one of the main criteria which students, the main concern of a parent when a student goes abroad to study is accommodation. So how does James Cook University help in that, to search for accommodation? Do you have on-campus accommodation? I'm sure the students would want to know more about that.
Yeah, thanks for highlighting, Linji. Definitely, a lot of news are there that accommodation is, or students are not getting the accommodation near to the university or something like that. But see, Singapore, I know it's a small country, but accommodation is never a problem with James Cook University. And why? Because if you go on a website, there's a link, separate link, and a separate portal for accommodation. As per student budget, as per their requirement, they can identify, they can select the accommodation. Yes, there's only one thing, we don't have on-campus accommodation, but nearby our campus, within 3 kilometers, 2 kilometers, or 1 kilometers, 500-meter radius, there are n number of accommodation option. We have a dedicated team who helps students in terms of finding out the accommodation. I have personally visited quite a few of accommodation, and we can definitely assure students if they are there in campus and if they need any sort of assistance related to the accommodation or post coming to Singapore, we are there to help them out, and we can guarantee provide them those accommodation. The only thing, they should try to shortlist those accommodation as soon as possible before the intake start. They should not wait till the last minute to identify the accommodation. So if they follow these things, I guess accommodation will never be a challenge in terms of Singapore. And recently, Singapore, we have also increased the accommodation network. So if students are even also coming at the last minute, there are a lot of hostel accommodation options where they can go. So I guess accommodation, definitely we are very much strong in Singapore, so student will not face any sort of problem.
Thank you, Tanuj.
Thank you, Niji.
I think that's perfect. We have, almost covered all the aspects that are required for a student, from scholarships to entry requirements, as well as accommodation, part-time work, and also, employment after completion of the degree. So with that, I think we are not getting any more questions. So I would like to close the session and thank both of you for your participation. We definitely, acknowledge and, respect the kind of association we have with JCU for so many years and the long-term association with you. And we also look forward to having you again in one of such events, maybe in the next couple of months. Okay, thank you. And thanks, Rinjiti, for joining also.
Thank you.
So my closing remarks for the students. tomorrow, day after tomorrow, that is on the 8th of June, we have our Europe and Asia application open day between 3 to 5 p.m. If you are looking at low cost, low budgeted options where you can get through with an MOI and scholarships, etc., then you can join us on that day and speak to us directly to find out your options. All you have to do is register yourself by going to the planstudyabroad.com website. Okay, so I look forward to meeting you on the 8th of June between 3 to 5 p.m. Stay tuned. Bye bye.
Thank you, Sabyasachi. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Richi.
Thank you, everyone.
Yay.
Thanks. Thanks.